Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we have a chance to check fresh release from Hobby, or as they name themselves now, Foreart. So we have a 1/72 scale kit, which copies JLTV, so it's M1278 Joint Light Tactical Vehicle in a 1/72 scale, so it should be quite a small model, around 78mm, it's written here on the side, and we have a commercial sample here, so it means you'll get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. And by the way, the kit number is 2005, so it's the 5th kit from this company. And just a small reminder, we reviewed also the previous kits, and you can find their videos on our YouTube channel, of course. So first of all, we have here a quite nice box, and as you can see, box art looks good. Here is comparison with my hand. Also, on the side we can see some of the assembly options, so you can either choose the manned turret or you can use the remote turret, which is quite an interesting option in my opinion, especially for those who don't want to deal with the clear parts just like me. And here you can see one of the marking options. I hope there will be more, and of course nobody stops you from checking some reference materials, which will actually give you some food for thoughts, and maybe you will be able to replicate something different. Okay, so as you saw, that was the top opening box, and we have here the sealed plastic bags. So I will have to use scissors, because otherwise it will be impossible to open this. Well, possible, but it will take more time. And straight away I can say that I see a lot of things which are molded as a single piece parts, and this is quite cool in my opinion, because it will speed up the assembly process. And for example, here we start with the first plastic bag with parts, and here you can see the rear section of this vehicle, and yes, it is actually molded as a single piece part, so you don't have to combine any separate panels. And well, this will definitely speed up the assembly process, and I think that pre-molded details which we get here, they are more than enough for the overall project. So it's just a matter of cleaning up this part and installing it onto your vehicle, because I'm not sure if it is actually ready to be used straight out of the box, but it looks like it. So you will be installing it straight on those plastic guiding holes. Next we continue with the, I think that's the front panel, but I'm not sure. It should be the lower bumper section here, and also the radiator grille, which is quite an interesting design because whole section is molded as a single piece part. And here you can see these elements from the rear side. Nothing interesting, but what is notable is the attachment points here. As you can see, they are placed from the lower side, and such design will make it easier to separate parts without damaging them, and if you do some damage, it will be easier to recover than instead of having the top attachment points. Next we continue with the sprue F, and here we get the main hull section. So I will not be zooming out, because as you can see, this is a really tiny part. You can notice the size in comparison with my fingertips, but it's again cool that you get the right alignment out of the box. Of course you will have to cut off all of the molding pins, but this is not a difficult task. And here, by the way, we also have the wheel fenders, which are also molded as a single piece parts, and it looks decent in my opinion. If you flip over here, so you can see that there are almost no cockpit features whatsoever, or interior features if you prefer, so you will be able to replicate some extra stuff. But note also the push marks on the roof panel, so I'm not sure if it will be actually replaced with the separate panel insert. We will see it further in the video, because now I'm opening another plastic bag. In the meantime, I can also remind you that you can support us with a small donation. It's quite easy thing to do, because we have the subscribe or support button on our channel just below this video. You will see it somewhere here, and also you can do it via big red button on our website. It's done via PayPal, so it's quite safe and quick. So here what I'm showing next is the bonnet panel. Note that it is molded together with the front mask for the headlamps, which is also cool. And this is, I guess, the lower section of the armor shield, and well, it's also a single piece part, as you can notice. So as I said before, really unusual design, because it should speed up the assembly process in theory. Well, in practice I see a lot of separate parts for additional things. So, well, it will save you some time for the different things. Next, we continue with the 3D printed wheels. This is also quite a special bonus for this brand. As you can see, it's a good looking wheel. I'm not sure if no, I don't see the weight effect here. And please write in the comments if you think it's actually having such feature. But we have quite nice tire here, so you can see it with your own eyes. From the opposite side, we have the installation slot, and of course you will have to remove all those 3D printing supports. I'm checking also, yeah, we have the tire wall details. If camera will be focused, yeah, now it just focused, and I hope you are able to see those tire details. Next, we continue with the vinyl tires. So I guess you will have a choice between the vinyl plastic combo or the 3D printed parts. In my opinion, 3D printed, it looks way better, so it's quite an easy choice. But of course, some others will be choosing the vinyl because of ease of use. So it's your decision after all. Next, we continue with the clear sprue. So here you can see all the clear parts for the vehicle and even for the headlamps as far as you can see. So overall it looks quite good. And the only thing is that I think the masks are not included. And if you would like to cover it with masks, you have to cut them by your own. Or maybe try to paint these parts with the thin brush. I'm not sure how the assembly sequence will go, so it will be the question to the assembly manual, but well, it will also require some planning in order to get everything painted properly. Here we continue with another plastic sprue. This one is bigger already, so here we have some of the hull parts. This is floor panel for the interior, and this is, I guess, the roof panel probably. And we have some of the wheel fender parts, and also central console for the interior, some parts for the manned turret. So overall it looks quite good. Note that we have some separate molded hatches, so you can also use it for your own benefit. Maybe you have some figurines to place, maybe you just use it for some diorama ideas. But it's always nice to have such stuff in a small scale model. Next, I'm continuing with another plastic sprue. It's a sprue D, and I just need a second to open the plastic bag and show you what is actually included here. So here we have these plastic wheel rims. You can see them all here. We also get the several types of antennas, and here as well storage boxes, again some antennas for the rooftop, and some minor parts for the suspension and drivetrain. So if I zoom in here, you can take a closer look at all those parts. In my opinion, they look quite great, but some of the parts are really thin, so be ready to work with tweezers probably, and also with a plastic saw, because otherwise it will be nearly impossible to place them in the right spot. And as you can see, there is no molding damage whatsoever. So just like the previous releases, this one is made on the top level of quality. There is nothing to complain about. So one more sprue, again the same sand color, and here we have the sprue C. And this C sprue is dedicated to the suspension parts and also some of the interior elements, because we also get these seats. And I can see here also some parts for the rear section. So I suggest we zoom in so that you can take a closer look at least at the suspension parts, because I remember from my experience with the scimitar, it was quite a nice detailing for such scale. Let's not forget that this is a 1/72 scale, so just to give you an idea, here is the suspension arm with my fingertip, so they are quite tiny. The same can be said about the seats, so here again comparison with my fingertip. And well, I think let's flip it over. Yeah, there are guiding elements, as you can see, or guiding pins, which will help you with overall alignment, but still it's better to pay attention how the overall fitment goes, because, well, it's a lot of things going on at the same time, and it's better to keep track of how parts look together and how they actually fit together. Okay, so next I continue with the last gray plastic sprue. This is the sprue B, no, it's E actually. So here we have the turret parts, separate doors, which is a really cool thing because you can open them on your vehicle obviously, and also some of the minor elements again for the interior and also for the turret. So if I zoom in, here you can take a closer look. So doors, I wonder, yeah, they are detailed from both sides as you can notice, so that's also good, because if you plan to open it, it won't be just a plain panel. And here we continue with some parts for the turret, also for the main hull or car body, and here again some machine guns for the turret. So overall I really like what I see here, and I think this is a really great kit for modelers who have some experience with the small scale models. And next we have the Ziploc bag with some minor things for this kit. As you can guess, we will find the PE parts here, so that's the PE thread as you can see. And all those parts will require some bending, so be sure to have the PE bender tool, because otherwise it's a bit tricky to handle such small parts. And the next thing is the decal sheet, which is not that huge, but here we have all necessary symbols, and I think also there are some interior decals. At least we get the, well, it's not the interior decal, but we get the full number registry as you can notice, so at least that. And next we continue with assembly manual. So this one is printed as a small brochure as you can see, but I would say it's a typical format for Hobby or Foreart if you prefer. No history notes whatsoever. Parts map does not show unused parts, because usually they use all of the parts pre-molded on these frames. Next we continue with first pages, but I think I should close the lenses a bit so that you won't be blinded. So we start with this one piece panel, and as you can see this was actually the armor panel from the bottom. And next we continue with the drivetrain, which is surprisingly replicated here, even though it will be barely visible on the finished model. But still quite a nice attention to small features. Next goes the floor panel and also various interior elements, and as well as the suspension arms as you can see. Next we continue with some seats, storage boxes, and also front mask. Here you can see the brakes. And note that the shock dampers, these were actually shock dampers which are being installed here. Next we continue with the top vehicle section. So as far as you can see, roof is not modified, but I guess these push marks will be barely visible on such small scale vehicles, so it's up to you whether you would like to fix it or you would just keep it as it is. Here we continue with the front wheel fenders as well as more of the suspension parts. And that's the rear section as you can see, that's the bonnet panel. Next we continue with the front winch, the windscreen, also choice between 3D printed or plastic and rubber wheels, screen wipers. Here we have separate doors, and next we continue with another one-piece part for the rear section. Those are separately molded antennas, and then you have the hatch assembly, but I guess it is for the manned turret version, because here we have also another one. And I wonder where is the unmanned version. Well, we have the marking guide for it, but I don't see the assembly manual for it. Probably that's the unmanned, and those two are manned turrets. And here we have 3 marking options for each of the types, but as I said, nobody stops you from finding some reference material which will give you even more ideas for your small vehicle. So this kit should be already available. You can get it in any good model shop. And in my opinion, this is a great choice for modelers who are experienced with small-scale vehicles and they would like to have their own copy of this type. And of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!